In 1971, aboard a yacht in the south of France, the famed Beatle members Ringo Starr and George Harrison composed and wrote a song titled Photograph that goes somewhat like this.
Every time I see your face, it reminds me of the places we used to go. But all I got is a photograph, and I realize you're not coming back anymore. I thought I'd make it.
And throughout this same song, there's this idea of memories of places, people, feelings, and events that evoke the importance that a photograph has, and that is the importance of documenting the world. But the adventure we're following today is one that started way before 1973, when this song was originally published, and way before the Beatles made headlines and conquered the hearts of many ladies all across the world. It started with the fascination of a child over the concept of photography. And as Ringo Starr puts it, there's only 5 photos of himself as he was growing up, despite the fact that he already enjoyed photography then. And his background was quite humble, so naturally, as he recounts, there wasn't a lot of cameras in the family. And then presumably in his late teens, after gaining some financial independence, Starr went, as he described, camera mad, going into photo booths and getting a camera to photograph anything and everything around him. From his first car to family, girls, sights, and friends. But his most exciting years laid ahead as he became a young man playing in different bands such as the Texans and the Hurricanes, eventually replacing Pete Best, the original drummer for the Beatles. And it would be with time and the exponential growth and stardom of the Beatles that Ringo Starr profounded his love for photography. And after all, his was a privileged and very rare outlook of the world, because the Beatles experienced a sort of fame that can either make you or break you. A type of polarizing fame only experienced by few, like Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, or perhaps these days footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. And although all the members of the band seemed to have cameras at this time, it would be Ringo, the one that consistently, it seems, stick to it and documented not only his life as a famous artist, but also as a father, his everyday, his relationships, holidays, and significant events. And although it seems quite natural to think that if we had been in his position, we too would document it all for posterity, that's not exactly what Ringo Starr was doing. I don't think I was photographing for later. I was taking pictures for now. And how many of us with our cameras haven't looked at our friends or a certain situation and went, oh, let me take a picture of that. And sometimes photography comes as an act of reflection to many of us. And I believe for Ringo Starr too, because we're living the moment, not considering much that yes, a photo can become a document for posterity. However, we also have this wanting for capturing the now, for celebrating the life in front of our eyes. And when Starr was approached by a publisher to put a book together, they figured that a photo book would definitely illustrate his life, not only his 8 years as a member of the Beatles, but also his life before and after. And whilst going through the negatives he had scattered across 3 countries, Ringo confessed that he was surprised with the amount of photos he had taken back then, some of which he had no idea of, but whose existence definitely brought back memories. And on this note, photography can be many things, but also the persistence of memory. Because like Salvador Dali's painting by the same name, photography plunges us into a limbo of what once existed and was concrete and real in the world, and the soft and malleable recollection of it in our minds and in front of our eyes through photography. And just like the clocks in Dali's painting that clearly don't count time and are not there for that purpose, photography introduces us to an idea of time that is unavoidable, but also unquantifiable. And I got an edition of Photograph, and it was, I have to say, really fun going through the book, trying to imagine what it all must have been like back then. And Ringo explained in interviews that they had a lot of downtime between shows and other commitments, but due to their level of fame, they couldn't really get out. So that's why a lot of pictures, specifically in the late 50s onwards as they achieve a massive level of fame, were taken in hotel rooms, studios and interiors, where they worked but also just played together or joked around. After all, as he described, they were just lads. And to me, these photographs, however simple and candid, have in a way opened my eyes to all these concepts of living the moment and the persistence of memory, which in turn also reminds me of how important it is to be open and receptive to different types of photography and photographers, because we never know what we can learn with one another. Oh, and of course, I almost forgot, but this book also taught me to be grateful as well for my anonymity, because I couldn't imagine what it must have been like wanting to take pictures of all these amazing places, but being chased by a crowd of people no matter where they go. And all in all, I found a lot of common ground with this book and Ringo's words, in spite of our major differences in obvious age, experience, and the worlds we live in. A lot. If you landed here randomly, I do have a series of videos that I made on musicians turned photographers that was super cool, and I learned so much, and all the viewers as well of those videos. So if you know what I'm talking about, cool, you can give it a rewatch if you want. If you don't know what I'm talking about, links will be here or maybe down below. And thank you all so much for the support of the channel, and a special thank you for those viewers that pointed me to Ringo Starr's photography, which I didn't know about before this video, and now I know. So thank you so much. Keep watching the channel, I really appreciate that. And yeah, I'll see you here for another video very soon, so stay safe, keep shooting, film, digital, whatever you do, creating, and, you know, subscribe for a cookie, do all those things. Peace.
Every time I see your face